Well, hello, Canadian Campaholic here with another travel trailer basics video. Today's basic question, which is going to be very difficult to answer simply, is why buy a travel trailer? Now, this is a video that could go off on so many tangents, so I will do my best to rein it in and keep it simple. When it comes to buying a travel trailer, it depends really on what you're going to use it for, because different people are going to use travel trailers for different things. Some are going to live in them full time. Some are going to stay in them while they're rebuilding a house. But I think for this video, as this is a Canadian Campaholic channel, I'm going to keep it within the perspective of camping. Because for us, a travel trailer is an integral part of the camping experience, but it's not really the end-all, be-all. And what I mean by that is our passion is for the experience of going camping. Sitting by a campfire, going for hikes, going fishing, going to the beach, just being outdoors in nature with the children, doing different activities that have nothing to do with the internet, electronics, day-to-day life. It's an escape. And it's a chance to get back to nature and spend quality time with the kids and build memories. So that is our big draw to camping, if you will. The travel trailer, and we're going to go outside and take a look inside in a minute, it's a comfort thing, I think. It's a home away from home, and it's a safe place to be, and it makes it comfortable so that at the end of a long day of doing all those activities I just mentioned, you have a nice base of operations, a nice place that you can go to be safe and comfortable and to have some conveniences and some creature comforts. Now, of course, there is the risk in me answering this question of why buy a travel trailer to open up the debate about, well, what really is camping? Some of my friends and family feel very strongly that camping means going out into the middle of the nowhere with a backpack and a tent and setting up a primitive camp with a tent and camping that way, or at least going to a provincial park like we do and using a tent and sleeping bags and all that sort of thing. And that's fine. For some people, that is the way to go. But, as you get older, laying on the ground and setting up a tent and either, drowning in the rain or freezing your ass off if it gets cold or sweating to death, a tent really starts to lose its luster and loses its appeal. And as we typically camp as early as April and as late as November, a tent becomes a little bit harder to deal with, especially when you've got, 2 or 3 kids, especially if you have very young children. A tent, I wouldn't say it becomes impossible. There's people that do it, but it becomes less and less practical. For me personally, I'm of British ancestry. I grew up in the United Kingdom, and of course people in the UK are obsessed, well, not everybody, but many of them are obsessed with caravans, travel trailers. My grandfather had a caravan, and he and my grandmother and my mother and my dad, when they were dating, they went out in the caravan pretty much every weekend. And there is this sort of love affair between the British and their caravans and their little home away from home. So who knows, maybe that's where I inherited it from. But to elaborate on creature comforts, and why I feel a travel trailer is a good investment. Well, not an investment. Let me clarify that. I don't think it's a good investment in the sense of making money off of it. I didn't buy my travel trailer because one day I want to sell it and make a profit. It's a good investment in the sense that we get a lot of use out of it, we make a lot of memories in it, and it's incredibly useful. It is expensive to buy, it can be expensive to maintain, and yes, there's a fair bit of work to it, but that's all part of it. People that are into RVing and camping and using travel trailers, they love this stuff. They eat it up. And quite honestly, if you are put off by the expense, if you're put off by the maintenance, then maybe travel trailers are not for you. But anyway, let's head out of the shop here. Let's go out to the trailer and let's talk a little bit about the creature comforts. So it is still winter here in Canada. Slightly nicer day today. We've had quite a bit of snowfall lately, and it's been pretty cold. It's almost March though, so spring is just around the corner. So not really the best time of year to be talking about why you should buy a travel trailer. But just quickly on the outside, I just want to point out one of the reasons we love our travel trailer, of course, is the awning, the power awning. I've talked about this in previous videos. It's nice just to be able to roll this sucker out, tilt it so the rain runs off. Provided it doesn't get too windy, this is a great place to put a picnic table underneath it and some chairs, heck, even a barbecue, and a place that you can sit outside, so that if you are back at camp and the weather gets a little increment, weather gets a little bad, can't speak today, you've got a little place to sit under. Of course, you've got to be careful with that, because if it gets too windy, you can damage the awning, damage the arms, and all that good stuff. But in good conditions, an awning is a real nice plus. Let's head inside and talk about other reasons a travel trailer is a good idea. So I'm sorry about the crappy lighting in here. I've disconnected the battery and put it on charge. And of course, with no battery in it, I'm not going to have it hooked up to shore power. But we're inside the trailer now. And one of the big things that I really wanted to move to a travel trailer for is up above me. A nice solid roof that is durable. But more importantly, and this is why we moved away from a tent trailer behind me, solid walls. We had a tent to start off. Then we had a tent trailer or a pop-up camper. And of course, in a pop-up camper, you've got canvas walls. And, if the wind blows, the walls are moving. If it rains, you can have leaks. And I really wanted a solid structure with 4 solid walls and a good solid roof and a solid floor, so that when my family and I would go camping, if the weather turned a little cold in the shoulder seasons, or if there was a bit of a rain shower or a thunderstorm, if we were back at camp, we had somewhere comfortable, dry, and safe to be. In the summer months, of course, with a fabulous air conditioner, you've got somewhere that can stay nice and cool, so that you're not roasting your ass off all night trying to sleep. And of course, in the winter months, you probably won't be able to see it, it's down there, of course, a furnace to keep you warm. So it's really about comfort. That was really, really the big thing. I didn't like the idea of having tent ends that you had to constantly push up, and drafts and damp, and so comfort was really a big thing. And let's kind of continue that theme of comfort. So other big thing about comfort is, of course, a bed. I mentioned at the start of the video that, rolling around on the floor in a sleeping bag, trying to get dressed, undressed, even just trying to stand up in a tent is a bit of a pain in the ass. So having a bed that is a good height off of the floor, with a comfortable mattress, which has kind of been a challenge for us, but it makes such a big difference. When you've had a long day at the campsite, and the campground of the things I mentioned earlier, the hiking, the fishing, the swimming, and all those outdoor pursuits, you're tired. You want to rest. And having a nice, comfortable bed like this is a nice big queen-size bed where the wife and I can lay down and have a snooze and sleep overnight is absolutely fabulous. And again, if it gets really cold at night, gets really windy, rainy, snowing in the shoulder seasons, we have a nice, warm, comfortable space to be. For the kids, a bunch of junk in there right now, but bunk beds. Nice bunk up there, bunk below, and if we have guests, and as our family grows, we've got this dinette that breaks down into a bed. So again, it's all about keeping everybody together and safe and comfortable. And again, I'm not saying that you can't sleep in a tent, but for us, really being able to sleep in the trailer made a big, big difference. The other big element of a travel trailer that appealed to us was having an indoor kitchen space. I've said in previous videos, we don't really cook inside very often because there's no extractor fan in here. And if you cook bacon and eggs and stuff like that, it can leave some smells and, of course, grease and things like that. But in a real pinch, if the weather got really, really bad, we've got a 2-burner gas stove, we've got a microwave, and we've got plenty of counter space here to have, a griddle, all kinds of different things for cooking, and space to prepare food, so that we know even if things get really terrible outside, and most people are hunkering down in their tent, we still have the option to prepare a meal. And again, for us, it's all about extending the camping season. Yes, having a microwave is really nice. Having a fridge is awesome as well. You're not going through tons and tons of ice and carrying all these coolers all over the place. This fridge has got a little freezer compartment in it, so we can have some frozen treats if we want. But it makes it a lot more easy and versatile in terms of groceries and supplies, having a bit of a kitchen space. The other reason that I wanted a travel trailer, of course, is storage. In a tent trailer, less so of a problem in a hybrid, but in a tent trailer specifically, or a pop-up camper, you don't have a lot of storage. You know, the thing collapses, so you don't have cupboards on the solid walls. So to have lots of cupboards and pantries and things to be able to store stuff is great. Please see my video on how to properly load your camper, though, because you can't just pile everything in there. You have to be careful. The other thing that I'll mention while we're in here, and again, I apologize for the lighting, but this was a big one for me. Jesus, I got so much crap in here. Sorry, folks, I'm just moving some junk out of the way so that I can get into the bathroom. Is the bathroom itself. That's my next point. We camp at provincial parks. They have really nice bathroom blocks with showers. But in the middle of the night, when there's bugs all over the place, or it could be raining, or it could be freezing cold, I love being able to just carefully slide out of the bed there, walk a few paces, and come into my own private commode and sit down and take care of business. Nobody else other than my family have sat on that toilet. I'm not sharing a toilet that has been used by thousands of other people. It is my own little private sanctuary to do my business. In the morning, you know, when you first wake up, especially if you're a dude and you've had a lot of coffee and you need to go to the bathroom, I always used to laugh because you'd get this procession of guys, we've all been there, doing the leaning forward, you know, butt clenched, walking quickly to the bathroom. I've always laughed at that. It's about 8:30 in the morning. You see a procession of mostly men walking incredibly quickly to the bathroom facility. Because some people, even with travel trailers, they don't want to take a dump because they don't want to deal with that element of the black tank. They'd rather pee. To hell with that. You know what? I paid the money to have my own private bathroom. I'm going to use it, and that way I don't have to do the shuffle. And of course, again, in the middle of the night, if it's chilly, I don't have to get dressed and put on a coat and all the rest of it and run over to a bathroom facility. I just stroll across the floor and go into my beautiful bathroom. I guess while we're looking at, there is a shower in there. We don't typically use the shower very often because most places we camp don't have full hookups. So you'd be relying on the 40-gallon hot water tank and the 5-gallon hot water heater. We have used it in a real pinch. You know, if the kids come back from the beach and they're incredibly sandy, we've used this shower. It has a pause feature on it so that you're not using a ton of water. In that case, though, because the provincial parks have very nice showers for the most part, we just say, forget it, and we just use the shower facilities there. But again, in a real pinch, it's nice to have it as an option. So I guess the theme of the video, and where I'm going with this, is that for us, having this as a base of operations at the end of the day is incredibly important. I'm going to show you something else here. I'm going to show you the Dinette. Now, this Dinette is a little bit small, but one of the things I love about this Dinette is that we can sit here and play board games, we can play cards, and if we really have to, you know, we can sit and have a bite to eat here. Not a tremendous amount of space. My kids are nearly fully grown now in terms of their size. My son's almost as tall as me, so this is becoming a bit of a squeeze. But again, if we're out camping and the weather turns really, really ugly around lunchtime, dinner time, breakfast, whenever, it's amazing to know that we've got a nice, comfortable place to sit and relax. So the last thing that I'll talk about in this video before it goes on for way too long in terms of why buy a travel trailer, for me, the other big element was the ease of setup. If you have a tent, you've got to bring all your gear, you got to carry all that stuff loaded up into your vehicle, and it's a lot of work. If you have a pop-up camper, there's a huge amount of setup that goes into when you arrive at your campsite and tearing down. Even with a hybrid, with your pop-outs or tip-outs, you know, that's extra work, that's extra time. With this particular trailer, you know, if we packed a little less and didn't carry so much in the truck, it would simply be a case of backing the camper into the campsite, you know, disconnecting it from the tow vehicle, leveling it, putting down the steadies, hooking up the power, and that's it. You're pretty much ready to go. Occasionally we'll bring a screen house. Occasionally we'll bring like a little dining shelter. But the last couple of seasons we've been pretty much just using the awning. And it really makes the setup and the teardown on arrival and departure day much, much simpler. You always want to make sure that you clean up your campsite. You want to make sure that you leave it better than you found it. So there's work to be done there. Hooking up to the truck and doing that properly with the weight distribution hitch and everything else. Yes, that takes time, but way less time than working with tents. Way less time than working with a pop-up camper or a hybrid. And it gives you more time back in your camping trip to relax and enjoy yourself. We're weekend warriors, so we'd arrive on a Friday afternoon and spend a good 2 or 3 hours getting set up with the pop-up camper or with the tents. Then we would have all day Saturday to relax. But then Sunday morning, by the time you get up and make breakfast and everything else, checkout time's at 2, we were spending most of our time from 10 until, say, 1:30 just packing up and getting organized to leave. So for us, having a travel trailer has really maximized the time that we're able to enjoy doing the things that matter, which are the activities I've mentioned before. As much as we love our little home on wheels and we love having our space and our creature comforts, we don't spend a lot of time at the campsite and in the camper. It is there for overnight, for in the morning and in the evenings, and of course, in case the weather really turns bad. So I think we'll end the video here. I would love to hear your thoughts about why you feel a travel trailer is a good thing. Go ahead and pop those down in the comments below. And even if you don't think a travel trailer is a good thing, maybe you think we're all fools for investing in them, you know what? Free speech. Put your comments down below. Anyway, hope that you're getting all set up for the 2022 camping season. Thank goodness the winter is almost over. We'll talk to you later.